Women, what's one thing men do that they think is attractive but actually isn't? Showing me pictures of the hot women they've dated. Yeah, this actually happened once. Back when we first started dating, I asked my husband what his type was, and he just showed me a photo of myself, bragging about having a 14-inch penis. Firstly, I don't believe you. Secondly, if you're telling the truth, I want nothing to do with that. That's a weapon. There is no way that would be an enjoyable or even pain-free experience for me. Huge turnoff. There's an unclaimed prize of like $10,000 or some crazy amount for anyone who proves they have a 10-inch Jimmy. Tell those guys to send in their submission and split the cash with you. Talk over people in a group and always try to be the loudest / most dominate person in conversation. It makes you look like a rude asshole. Conversely, making space for the quiet folks in a group to be heard seems to be an attractive pursuit based on what I've seen. Good point. Feeling that someone is left out and inviting them to be part of the conversation activity is all it takes for them to break out of their shell sometimes. I remember when it was done for me, and I do the same now whenever the opportunity presents itself. There's such thing as too confident. Also, don't order my meal for me. That's the second time I've read the ordering meal thing. Guys actually do that? As the other person said, it was gentlemanly back in the day. If the woman was able to choose her food, there was even a thing called a ladies' menu which didn't have prices, because they wouldn't be paying. Which, as a woman, I'm glad isn't the rule anymore. I want to pay my share. I had one very attractive boyfriend who very much knew it, and he would practically pose on the lounge waiting for compliments. It was so off-putting, plus he used my special moisturizer all the time. I only used it every now and then for special occasions, and when I finally used it again, it was almost run out. So I asked him and lied about it. I found him so unbelievably unattractive after getting to know him. He had pretty privilege for too long, and it showed. Shitting on my music / book / TV / movie taste. Talking shit about other people to make themselves look better. Aggro for no reason. Or claiming someone disrespected them when they just had a different opinion, or brought up something you did that hurt their feelings. Bragging about how much money they make. If I cared about money, do you think I would have become a teacher? Like, damn. Negging. Once some random dude in the club asked me and my friend, who was an entirely different ethnicity, if we were sisters because we were both so short, and then proceeded to say he only dates tall girls. I didn't even try to initiate a conversation with you, bro. You came over to us and immediately insulted us for no reason, and then asked for my number an hour later when we were leaving. He was like posted at the door looking for us or something because the club was super crowded, and we ghosted him after saying we had to go to the bathroom, insisting I try something I already said no to. Persistence to the degree it gets scary. If I don't like you and I say no and you ask me again, sure, I'll say no a second time and wave you off. But when you aggressively keep moving at me, physically following me, disbelieving me if I say I have a partner, regardless of whether or not I do, nobody finds that shit cute. Talking about screwing up, going out on a date, it's understandable a man would want to make it seem like he has it all, or most of it, together. And this is the tack a lot of guys take. But when a man is down to earth and can talk about the mistakes he's made or errors he corrected with perspective, humility, and even humor, it really makes him stand out to me. Someone who is relaxed and not afraid to screw up a little bit is totally sexy because it puts me at ease and makes me feel like I don't have to be super perfect either, and that he is likely to be more adventurous and forgiving. Wearing too much cologne. If I can smell you from across the room, you're doing it wrong. It should act as a small enhancer of your natural smell, so that if someone does get close to you, they won't have to hold their breath. That's a hard one for me. I really don't know if it is too much. I love good fragrances, but it's hard to know how much. I usually do 2 sprays on the neck and on the wrists. I have never had anyone complain, but on the other hand, that's something a lot of people think and don't speak out loud. That's too many. Spray your wrists, tap them together, and then tap them both behind your ears. That's plenty. Changing their voice to sound more like strong or alpha, something like that, LOL. Do guys do that in real life? Hopefully no one thinks I do this, but when I'm tired, my voice gets lower. No is very noticeable when guys do this to flirt. They also do a strange face I don't know to describe it, but we women know when a voice is the flirting voice. There is this horribly uncomfortable thing that some do when they meet you and shake your hand, and then one of their fingers will tickle your palm. OMG. Please, for the love of all that is holy, stop that shit. When I was in primary school in the 80s, AIDS was a new virus. We played a little game in sex ed to simulate how viruses spread. A person would start out with the disease, and then we would go around shaking each other's hands. If you had the virus, you had to tickle the palm of the person whose hand you were shaking. It showed how quickly it spread. What you are describing is basically how AIDS was transmitted in our game. What a turn on. Giving sexual compliments or compliments about certain body parts when they first meet you. Thanks, but sir, you are still a stranger. That's just making me uncomfortable. Can we get to know each other first? or compliments? So if I said, "You have nice eyes," that would be an issue for you? Not at all. I don't consider eyes to be directly sexual unless you said, "You have bedroom eyes," or something along those lines. That's different from "You have a nice butt" or "sexy boobs." Talking about how sore I'm gonna be the next day. Some guys for some reason think they're doing sex the best when they're hurting their partner, outside of consensual kinks. And I don't think that's attractive or good. Yeah, I've always found that of things so weird. The whole "I'm going to destroy her" or "blow her back out." Why not? I'm going to make her feel incredible or make her feel loved and adored. Why does it need to be destructive to be sexy? Showing off their car while endangering both our lives. I don't care how fast your car is, slow the hell down, I want to live. Anyone that treats other drivers on the road as obstacles, as opposed to actual people, is a red flag to me. Just had yet another guy on the dating app start talking about his dick and asking me for pictures of my naked body. He then asked if I was excited, and I told him no. He asked why, and I said, "I like to meet in person and see if the chemistry is right, because talking on the dating apps almost always just feels like I'm talking to the same person over and over again." He said that he would be able to meet at around 8 p.m. tonight, and I said, without any heart whatsoever or belief that he would follow through, "Sure, I can meet at 8 o'clock. Immediately after saying that, I predicted that he was going to end the conversation just to fuck me up, and I was right. He tried to give me the slip, but I'm so bored and over it that he only fooled himself. Wash, rinse, repeat. The dating app scene is so stale at this point, it's like watching reruns on TV. Licking their lips, LL Cool J style? Like, bruh, you need some chapstick? When they act overconfident and manly, just be yourself. It's okay if you make mistakes or show your emotions. I honestly find those things endearing. And awkward guys are adorable. Men don't have emotions. We have weird tingly feelings which we suppress by thinking about motorcycles and sports ball, revving their engines. No woman cares about your vroom vroom sounds, and we're not impressed that you installed a blow-off valve. It may not always be done to look attractive to women, but to look cool to anyone and everyone. It's all the same to me and so very annoying. Usually comes with reckless driving too, and that's a whole other level of unattractiveness. Trying to make themselves appear bigger, more masculine through violence, picking random fist fights, punching walls, random stuff in an attempt to seem cool or to impress a girl. Just IMO, not shaming or hating on anyone who drinks, but just my preference. Guys who drink excessively and brag about how much alcohol they can take in. Like, boy, you're 15. Bragging about being able to hold that much liquor isn't impressive. It's concerning. I am in my early 50s, and I have had several older men in their 60s and 70s tell me that they are not attracted to women their own age, or that women their age can't keep up with them, but that they would definitely date someone my age. This is absolutely obnoxious, but I think they think it makes me feel like some hot young thing, acting cool because they are out of touch with their emotions. I am more curious about men that are capable of expressing a myriad of emotions, like being excited over a puppy or crying over a movie scene. It doesn't take away from the manliness because it isn't either vulnerability or manliness, it can be both. A lot of men look mysterious or cool or chill, but in close inspection have zero opinion about anything, are indifferent and dissociated. They do not allow themselves to feel things and just bottle everything until a heart attack or SMTA. I tend to have a lot of trauma from childhood that they never address and will eventually traumatize their kids and SOs with. Hot take, please just hear me out. I hate when men will try and spoil me and treat me like a princess or whatever to win me over. Like, oh my god, please just treat me like a person. Talk to me so that we can understand each other. It's insulting that certain men misunderstand women to such a degree that they think they can all be won over by sterile luxuries and impersonal romanticism. I want to know I can just sit on the couch and talk to my partner, have a real connection without expectations. Extravagant, impersonal displays of romance are the antithesis of that. Lying about your height. I literally do not care if a man is shorter than me, but if I'm standing next to him with barely any space left and he lies straight to my face that he's 4 inches taller than my height, it's such a turn-off. It's the lying I don't like, and usually shows how insecure they are about it. I love short kings, but because they don't lie about their height. Had a first and last date with someone who couldn't stop talking about himself. Didn't ask a single question about me, showed me photos of his hot exes, told me stories about his past relationships, bragged about how much money he makes. I I actually make more, but he wouldn't know because he never gave me a chance to say anything. Informed me that male orgasm is by far superior to female orgasm because the vagina is like rubber and doesn't feel anything at all. Made homophobic and racist comments, and eventually got himself shit-faced drunk and started joining other people's conversations who were sitting next to us. And all that in a span of 2 hours. What a train wreck. Bye, Twitter. Calling exes crazy, then a month or two down the road I find out exactly why their exes were crazy. They drove them to that point.